austerity. I have the emphasis and clarity. I'm an innovator, I'm an instigator. I'm a nature liberator against any discriminator. And I've been more than just a demonstrator. I pioneer being medicinal and high for years. So polarized and divine and revered. I'll also despise and fear for being a broke rock star, just wise and weird. Not to digress from the point, I spoke up pregnant second generation joint. I believe in anarcho-primitivism. I support brave cave women. Or the spell of the doubt left, that property is theft. I'm about to get improper and incorrect. Recollect an error when I had already rejected propaganda. I'm ahead of my time, I'm too eccentric to defy. I'm well read like many greats. I initiate resistance to state. Sedition will obliterate, goes to pillage and hate. Be correct like Edgar Casey, I'm the best, just wait. I'm condemning Bill Gates, I'm rebelling against states. I've detested many presidents and presidential candidates. The heads of states segregate, and they spread pestilence and hate. They fester and decay. I dig the grave from dead every day, for 'tis extra heady this way. Even in a decrepit, irreverent, desecrated state of dismay, in an irrelevant haze.
So many protests, everyone is oppressed. Nobody has freedom at anyone else's expense. I must insist, the civilization must cease to exist. I'm an anarcho-primitivist. We must resist empire and its many clients, they're all tyrants. My Xerxes-esque verses will burn down churches to murder perjurous neoconservatives for the disservice. They deserve it. Perdue correctly said, property is theft and influenced by Kunin. We need much more than a revolution. Progress is a myth. Technology inflicts pollution upon earth as persecution. Hence what Edward Abbey said was the industrial way of death. Civilization is self-destructive and meant to oppress. When ignoring the facts, some have resorted to an ad hominem, i.e. a personal attack. The appeal to hypocrisy is obviously a logical fallacy. To blame us for using technology within civilization's clutches, as if blaming a cripple for using crutches. Anarcho-primitivism is what I believe in. There can't be freedom where there is authority, hierarchy, and other crimes of the civilized. I support nomadic forage tribes. I call for liberation, so abolish civilization. Authority and hierarchy have divided us and lied to us. We have been told that our rights were recognized and wouldn't be denied. Empire has tried to divide us of our skills that we needed to survive. The low lives who hide behind a badge fabricate crimes to meet their quotas. They patrol us and enforce their war upon us. Empire and its apartheid has to end, and we need not let it slide ever again. We can easily resist them, and we will win. We outnumber and outwit the oppressors. We can do much more than merely demonstrate against them. They intend to arrest anyone who protests them, but we don't have to let them. If we had all been killed, we need to oppress when there's none of us left. Oppress when there's none of us left. I told them I won't tolerate the laws and hate they have caused for so many years. I made myself clear they didn't hear because they had lard in their ears. Yet we are precisely what their empire should fear. Much like the Irish volunteers, we are undefeated. Those who profit from apartheid have repeated their lies, but that doesn't make them come true. We must liberate the earth, as that's what we are obligated to do. I call for liberation, so abolish civilization. therefore to oppress. Warfare tears apart our planet. Humans have not made progress. People were deprived of peaceful lives when they became civilized. Yet humans were healthy when primitive. Now they're inflicted with illnesses which mostly didn't exist. In prehistory, there was liberty, equality, and peace. Now this planet's war-torn, polluted, and diseased. Civilizations and states induce hate and instigate wars. They deprive people of being what they are, which they had been before. Humans only equal to other animals, yet governments have caused such evil as polluting the earth we all inhabit. Gatherers in small tribes in prehistoric times with healthy lives compared to being oppressed and terrorized. As we've all been for about 5,000 years, governments control people via making them hate and fear. Empire is weak, doomed to collapse. That reality is out of its grasp. It's instigating yet more wars to cause its own demise like suicide. People will be fed up and will react to resist the warmongering regime, no longer fooled by its schemes. It has brutalized this earth and its inhabitants, yet it can barely maintain its own terror campaigns. Its occupations and wars have exhausted it. Dismantle and abolish it. Kedrick to head trip. Cacti, Pterosaur. Kedrick to head trip. Vibe Rhymes Manifesto. Active psychos worldwide. This is for your mind, so open wide. All throughout what's called time. Music like an ocean of doses. It's opening of sorcerers' minds manifested. It's expansion of human intellect, kind of similar to that of a dolphin. Often involves serotonin and or endorphins. Some record a jam so fluent, yet therapeutic who were cannabis users in Egypt in ancient times. They get high when a human source is present, supported with its audience. People can generally vibe well in many cases. Many faces are high as some spellcasting shamans, as healthy as rosters with fewer wrinkles and who live longer, unite to smoke ganja. Active psychos worldwide. This is for your mind, so open wide. Oh, throughout what's called time. Music like an ocean of doses. It's opening up sorcerer's mind manifested. It's expansion of human intellect, kind of similar to that of a dolphin or something. Often involves serotonin and or endorphins. Some are called a jam so fluid, yet therapeutic with cannabis users in ancient times. In Egypt they get high when a human source of music is present to party with its audience. People can generally vibe well. In many cases, many faces are high. Some spellcasting shamans, as healthy as rosters with fewer wrinkles and who live longer, unite to smoke ganja. Active psychos worldwide. This is for your mind, so open wide. All throughout what's called time. Dose to this beat. Ingenuity, continuity, congruity, acuity, facing scrutiny, raising mutiny, lucidly like a true gypsy. Kedrick the head trip, psychedelic epic, runic divination, therapeutic herb, mushrooms and roots. Induce this, intuitively influenced. Aesthetics of music, elusive, conducive to commemorative penmanship that's consecutive. Immaculate Om chant, astrological, philosophical like Immanuel Kant, primordial, clairvoyant, I'm cognizant and benevolent. Embrace this, and go scavenging with javelins, shape shift into a makeshift spaceship, traveling, rambling on to the Amazon's pantheon with the feral, amiable animals and egalitarian heroines are jamming on Grateful Dead songs and recording electronic voice phenomenon. Classic, empathic, ecstatic, eclectic, eccentric, syncretic, authentic, poetic, aesthetic, telekinetic, telepathic, sympathetic magic has conjured some pure ectoplasmic entity in this dead, heady tent city with the psychedelic hippies. Speak of equality and equity. We don't pray, we merely say blessed be, especially at the medicinal weed dispensary. We are defending peace with empathy. This be spiritual ecstasy. Everyone oppressed, every refugee gets our sympathy. Wizardry is giving me an epiphany apolitically. I exist to be instantly primitive and at peace. There has to be resistance to be free. Ingenuity, continuity, congruity, acuity, facing scrutiny, raising mutiny, lucidly like a true gypsy. Philosophies without degrees, top of these technocracies with these and document atrocities, but plausibly akin to octopodes and squids, whose origins are commonly thought to be foreign to the earth and seas. Here from battle scars ever wild, utilize shards and return to where humanity was before the warfare, where the forest thrived. In an era of divisiveness, much of what's required is as rare as an eclipse. Such prices is sought by those enlightened and taught, who unfortunately lack what can't be bought back. Forge an enormous gorgeous forest for more than tourists afforded in embroidered cordons and storage. Employers resorted to ignoring more than door hinges for mortgages. George Orange was a foreigner to Orange and implored us to endure poor in his porridge. Irreverent yet benevolent cells of a rebellion compel again, without impediment, enlightened instead of misled. My comrades and I congregate with piety to plot lots of ways to topple the state of civilized society. Corporations are known for exploitation. Many are told they'll die to be free. I'm against the empire in its entirety. I'm enlightened. I don't have to try to be. So unite despite the blight and doubt I write about. So unite despite the plight and doubt I write about. So unite despite the plight and doubt I write about. So unite despite the plight and doubt
I write about. Many will behold the truth and be shown the proof, and some will accept it, while many are detested and rejected. Humanity is now tarnished and decrepit, festering in oppressive conditions, so different from its origins, foraging. I've escaped dire dystopian dungeons and been a spunion, hand drumming at a campfire. I grow a fan base while still poor and I can't retire. At least I don't rely on the populace not recognizing satire. Civilized societies entirely for shills, and psychiatry kills by prescribing pills to cause depression and anxiety, thus depriving its targets of survival skills. Civilized societies entirely for shills, and psychiatry kills by prescribing pills to cause depression and anxiety, thus depriving its targets of survival skills. The populace is systematically poisoned by a pharmaceutical industry that brutally despises liberty, as the poison pushers avoid all liability. Barely even discreetly, quarantines are caused by corporate greed to sell vaccines, after sanitation had already decreased deaths from infectious diseases by 90% before the vaccine shed the germs to spread. Hence the fear mongering is measly. The vaccinated majority are brutally duped, given shots like they forgot surviving chickenpox. Poison pushers walk all over us until we make them run away from us, thus before us. Because they exploit us, they contaminate the water and pollute the air, and hate us because we dare to care. Newscasters who spew disaster don't inform those who view that a fashionable discrimination, mentalism or sanism, a variation of ableism or disableism, is endorsed as preferable, while everybody who's stigmatized and ostracized is considered expendable and detestable for being traumatized and almost universally despised. Many are forcibly drugged and electroshocks to be vegetables. It's disturbing to describe such reprehensible atrocities enforced by probate judges who hold the grudges. Well, the reporters don't want to realize they stigmatize those who would probably save their lives. Fear sells, I'm not buying. Measles isn't a death sentence. Censorship of a documentary is barely even trying. The fear mongering is blatant, denying and lying. Measles isn't bubonic plague, shuts feeble claims aren't even as vague. Rather than opposite the truth, the populace is too afraid to comprehend proof. There's distress when the press will degrade a minority who couldn't weaken any herd immunity. That's inherently absurd, brutally undeterred by scrutiny. The vaccinated majority is told lie after lie. The herd immunity rationale doesn't apply. We're pretending viruses can be spread by those who haven't caught them, or that new strains are to blame. That's an inherently bogus claim. Forced vaccination with bans and badges are inhumane. Mandatory vaccination is oppressive because it's coercive, thus indefensible. There can be internment or worse for those who don't get vaccinated on schedule. The autists are stigmatized by lies and portrayed as expendable. Autism doesn't cause rampages. The savant syndrome misdiagnosed, while geniuses are locked in cages. The reprehensible sadistic staff will drug shock misdiagnose to push the drugs to those who thought they were immunized. Disease is exacerbated, only a minority are unvaccinated. The harm caused by measles is exaggerated. The idea of a herd immunity weakened by a minority is outrageous. Like bogus bans and badges are those who didn't catch anything and therefore are apparently not contagious. Doped up staff are sociopaths who laugh as they steal opiates from the detoxification wards they're working at.
evasion is futile. It's desperation when the pushers resort to schizophrenia. Therapy can't be forced. Pushers label anybody mentally ill without evidence. They pretend they had grounds to torture, while claiming to medicate those whom they denigrate, to decimate. It's never therapeutic when against their will. For freedom from psychiatry, force and fraud, I easily see through a facade. Civilized society's entirely for shills, and psychiatry kills by prescribing pills to cause depression and anxiety, thus depriving its targets of survival skills. Civilized society's entirely for shills, and psychiatry kills by prescribing pills to cause depression and anxiety, thus depriving its targets of survival skills.